Hi, welcome back. So we're in Chapter 2, Story of Math at the outline area of mathematics. We have reached out to the sub-outline calculus and analysis. Now, calculus, called infinitesimal calculus, or the culture of infinitesimals, which is a mathematical study of continuous change in the same way that we have seen geometry to study the shape, algebra to study the generalization of arithmetic. Imagine if you would have some kind of object or any existence, and this existing object is changing in certain environment over a period of time in particular. Now, calculus interested to see the way this object is changing over this period of time. Now, there are kind of departments that have come to investigate, such as the study of limits and infinitesimals or differential calculus, integral calculus. So in general, analysis also is a branch of mathematics which deal with continuous functions. So if you would like to analyze not kind of a static system, but a dynamic system which is changing over time. Next, we're going to be looking at the discrete mathematics. In general, this area of study or discrete mathematics to study the mathematical structure that can be considered as discrete rather than continuous variables. Now, the objects studied in such field of mathematics include the logic, for example, set theory, combinatoric, graph theory, also number theory, algebraic structure, and calculus, but for finite kind of list. So next, actually, also we can look at decision science field, and in particular, the statistic and probability perhaps could be considered as much more focused in such a field of science. Now, statistical theory, which study decision problems such as minimizing the risk, for example, or using procedure N to estimate parameter, hypothesis testing to select the best answers, minimizing objective function. This is a very important concept to be understood because objective function is something we're going to encounter once we start actually speaking about prediction. Also, we cannot neglect the idea of a probability theory. There are several different probability interpretation. Probability theory treats the concept in a rigorous mathematical manner anyway. Last but not least, we're going to be looking at the other field which is called computational math, to the interaction between mathematics and computation on its own. Some areas you might look at the computational science, stochastic methods, computational statistics, computational geometry. You get computational also group theory, maybe algorithmic information theory, and mathematical economics as well. So that was the most important set of areas that group the entire language of mathematics. Now, there is no way that for someone just to try to measure each area on its own. However, I think my approach always to look at the entire general concept or aspects of each area. The rest become much more handpicking topics that are related to the exact problem in general. And that's exactly the approach we're going to use, actually, especially when we talk about prediction. Now, next, we're going to Chapter 3, which what you must know in order to understand the meaning of prediction. I will see you then.